No plus ones for you, my sister said about her wedding. We're keeping it intimate. Meanwhile, her fiance's entire frat got invited. I'm a widower. My plus one was going to be my daughter. Age 12. I RSVP decline. She texted, "You're really not coming?" I replied, "Nope, but I'm still sending a gift." I sent her a screenshot of the $40,000 venue deposit with my name as the payer and a venue status update sent at 11:59 p.m. Wedding was the next day. My daughter Lily stood in front of the hallway mirror in my sister's rental house, smoothing the front of her simple navy dress with both hands. She'd practiced that smile you do when you're trying to be brave. The one that says, "I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine even when you're not." "Do I look okay, Dad?" she asked. Before I could answer, my sister Kayla appeared behind her holding a clipboard like she was running an airport. Kayla didn't even look at Lily. She looked at me and said, flat, casual, like it was a seating chart problem. "Oh, Steven, you didn't bring her, did you?" I blinked. "Bring who?" Kayla finally turned her eyes to Lily. "Not warm. Not me either. Just blank. Like Lily was an extra chair, she didn't order." Kayla tapped her clipboard with her acrylic nails. "She can't be here. No plus once." Lily's fingers froze on the fabric of her dress. I felt my throat tighten. "Kayla, she's 12. She's not a date. She's my daughter." Kayla sighed like I was the one being difficult. "I told you we're keeping it intimate." And that was the moment my brain did that slow stunned thing where you can't tell if you misheard because in the same breath, Kayla added, "Also, the guys are about to show up. Please don't start anything right now." "The guys," I repeated. She looked annoyed now. "Dylan's friends from his fraternity. They're like family to him." Lily's eyes flicked to mine. That little glance kids do when they're trying to read the room and decide if they're safe. I could hear music coming from the backyard. I could smell barbecue smoke. I could hear laughter. This was supposed to be a wedding weekend, supposed to be family. Kayla waved her hand toward the front room. "Just have her wait in the car or something. We're about to do photos." Wait in the car like she was a coat, like she was a bag. I didn't explode. I didn't yell. I could feel my hands shaking, but I kept my voice low because Lily was right there holding herself together. "Kayla," I said, "you said I could bring her." Kayla's mouth tightened. "I said you could come." I stared at her. "You know I'm a widower." Kayla's eyes rolled. "Steven, don't make it about that." Lily swallowed hard and whispered, "It's okay, Dad." That whisper hit me harder than Kayla's words, because Lily was trying to shrink herself to make it easier on everyone else. That's what she did when she felt unwanted. And I knew right then that I had made a mistake by bringing her anywhere near my sister's version of family. I bent down gently so Lily wouldn't have to look up at the adults towering over her. "Hey," I said quietly. "It's not okay, but you don't have to fix this." "I do," Kayla huffed. "Are you leaving?" "Because if you're leaving, I need an answer for the coordinator." I stood up slowly. I looked past Kayla into the living room where a stack of welcome bags sat on a table. Little ribbons, little tags. I saw names on them. Dylan's frat brothers had names. They had bags. My 12-year-old daughter, who had spent 2 weeks helping me pick out a gift, didn't even get permission to stand inside the house. I turned my head slightly and saw a group of guys in matching polo shirts walking in through the side gate, loud and red-faced, already acting like they owned the place. Kayla smiled at them. A real smile, the kind she hadn't given Lily once. That was the shock. That was the injustice. That was the public humiliation. My daughter wasn't just excluded. She was treated like a problem to hide. I took Lily's hand. "We're going," I said. Kayla's head snapped around. "Steven, I didn't argue. I didn't plead. I didn't do the thing I'd been doing for years. I just walked Lily out the front door. And behind me, I heard Caleb mutter loud enough for Lily to hear. Of course, he has to be dramatic." Lily kept walking, chin up, eyes shiny. When we got to my truck, she didn't cry. She just asked in that small, careful voice, "Did I do something wrong?" My chest felt like it cracked. "No," I said, "you didn't. Not even a little. I'm Steven." I was 41 at the time. I owned a small horse ranch outside a dusty Texas town where everyone knows everyone's truck and everyone's business. My wife Hannah died 3 years before that wedding. Cancer. Fast and cruel. The kind that doesn't care how good you are or how hard you pray. Lily was 9 when we lost her mom. She became quiet after that. Not withdrawn exactly, just careful. She still laughed. She still loved animals. She still drew horses in the margins of her school notebooks. But she watched people more. She listened more. And she noticed every time someone treated her like she was extra. After Hannah died, my family didn't step in the way people pretend families do. They stepped in with their hands out. My parents were the worst for it. But Kayla learned fast. It started small. I hate to ask, but just until next month. We'll pay you back when things settle. Except they never did. $1,000 here for my parents' property taxes. $2,000 there when Kayla's car unexpectedly broke down right after she bought concert tickets. $500 a month just temporarily for my mom's credit card minimums. I paid because I could. The ranch did well. Not fancy rich, but steady. And in my head, paying was easier than fighting. Especially while I was grieving. Especially while I was trying to keep Lily's world stable. They knew that. They knew I didn't have much left in me to argue. So they used that, and the whole time Lily was treated like a guest. Not a grandkid, not a niece, a guest. She'd bring a drawing for my mom, and my mom would say, "Oh, that's nice," and set it down without really looking. She'd sit at holiday dinners while Kayla's kids were asked about school and sports, and Lily would get, "How's, 5th grade?" Even the photos told the truth. Someone always forgot to call Lily over, or she'd be stuck at the very edge of the frame, like a background decoration that I kept thinking they'd adjust. I kept thinking they were just awkward with grief. I kept thinking Kayla was just stressed. I kept thinking a lot of things that made it easier to stay in the pattern. Then Kayla got engaged. And that's when I learned what I actually was to them. Not family. Not brother. Not son. I was a wallet with a pulse. Kayla called me one night, her voice sugary. "Stephen, I know this is a lot," she said, "but the venue needs a deposit to hold the date." I was in the barn office, smelling hay and leather, the damp night air coming through the screen. Lily was at the kitchen table doing homework, humming softly. She always hummed when she was focused. "How much?" I asked. Kayla hesitated, like she wanted to sound humble. 40, she said. 40,000. I actually laughed at first because it sounded like a joke. Kayla didn't laugh. "Stephen," she said, "it's my wedding. It's once, and Dylan's parents aren't helping. They said they're tapped out." I rubbed my face. "Kayla, 40,000. That's not a small ask." "I wouldn't ask if I had another option," she said quickly. "It's just a deposit. It holds the date. Then Dylan's bonuses will cover the rest." I knew that was a lie. Dylan had been about to get a big raise for 2 years, Kayla added softly. "Mom said you'd understand." Of course she did. Mom always volunteered my money like it was a family resource that I should have said no. I should have paused and asked for paperwork, contracts, names. But Kayla did the one thing she always did. She pulled Hannah into it without saying Hannah's name. "You know," she said, "Hannah would have wanted you to help. She loved weddings." My jaw clenched so hard my teeth hurt. Lily hummed in the kitchen, and I did what I always did. I tried to keep the peace that I wired the deposit. My name went on the payment confirmation because the venue required the payer's information, and Kayla said it was easier. I didn't fight it. Then it kept going. 2,000 for Kayla's dress because the seamstress needed the money now. 6,000 for flowers because the florist wouldn't book without full payment. Another 3 for the rehearsal dinner because Dylan's parents promised, until they didn't. Every time it was urgent. Every time it was my problem. Every time I asked about the guest list, Kayla brushed me off. "We're still finalizing. It's complicated. You'll see." The more money I gave, the less information I got. That should have told me everything. But I was tired. And grief does this thing where you'll pay any amount to avoid more conflict. That's how they got me. The +1 thing wasn't random. It was the final shove in a long pattern. A pattern where Lily was tolerated, not cherished. A pattern where I funded family events while my child was treated like an afterthought. A few weeks before the wedding, Kayla called. "Just so you know, we're not doing +1s." I was feeding horses. The wind had that hot, gritty Texas bite. "No +1s at all?" I asked. "No," Kayla said. "We're keeping it intimate." I paused. "So Lily can't come?" Kayla sighed. "Stephen." Kids changed the vibe. I stared at a gelding chewing calmly, completely unbothered by human nonsense. "She's 12, I said. "She can sit quietly through a ceremony." Kayla's tone sharpened. "It's my day." Then she added, like she was offering a compromise. "Maybe she can come to the brunch the next morning." The brunch. After the wedding. After the photos. After the important part. I held my phone tighter. "Kayla, Dylan's frat brothers are coming." She didn't deny it. She just said, That's different. How? I asked. They're adults, she snapped. So were the bartenders. So was the DJ. So were the guys Kayla barely knew but invited because they fit Dylan's story. My daughter didn't. That's what it was. Lily didn't match the picture Kayla was trying to sell. Widow. Brother. Quiet kid. Less cute for Instagram. I didn't say that out loud. I just said, if Lily isn't welcome, I'm not going. Kayla laughed like I was bluffing. You're seriously going to miss my wedding over this? I didn't answer. I didn't want to fight on the phone while Lily was in the next room. Kayla ended the call with, RSVP by Friday. That night, Lily sat at our kitchen table coloring a card for Kayla. She'd drawn 2 horses with wedding veils and tiny stick figures in cowboy boots. She'd written, in careful letters, congratulations, Aunt Kayla. I hope you are happy. She looked up at me. Can I wear my boots? The clean ones. Something cold slid through my stomach. Because she still believed she was going. She still believed she belonged. That I sat across from her. Hey kiddo, I said gently. It looks like the wedding is going to be adults only. Lily blinked. But I'm not a baby. I know, I said. This isn't about you. It's about your aunt making choices. She stared at her card, then nodded once, like she was accepting a rule of nature. Okay, she whispered. You can go. I'll stay with Mrs. Ortega. Mrs. Ortega was our neighbor, an older woman who loved Lily like her own. Lily was offering me a solution so I wouldn't have to choose. That's what broke me. Kids shouldn't have to manage adult cruelty. I reached across the table and covered her hand with mine. No, I said. I'm not going without you. Her eyes widened. But it's your sister. I know, I said. And you're my daughter. She swallowed hard. Will she be mad? I looked at the little card with the horses. She might, I said. But that's not your job to fix. Lily nodded, but her mouth trembled. I knew I was done letting my family teach my kid that love is conditional. I RSVP'd decline the next morning. No explanation. Just decline. Kayla texted within minutes. All caps. You're really not coming. I read it by the pasture fence, watching Lily brush Daisy, focused and quiet like the motion was therapy. I replied, nope. I'm still sending a gift. Kayla shot back, Steven, don't be like this. Dylan's going to be embarrassed. Not I'm sorry. Not I went too far. Just Dylan. That's when it clicked. Kayla didn't understand words. She understood consequences. I had been funding the life she wanted while she erased my child. Paying to be treated like an inconvenienced SO. I opened my laptop and pulled up the venue contract. Deposit received, $40,000. Payer me. Client me. Kayla had insisted it was easier that way. I realized paperwork is power. If you're the client, you can cancel. I thought of Lily getting ready, trying to belong. Then I called the venue. The coordinator confirmed the deposit was non-refundable, but the remaining balance wouldn't be charged. That part mattered. Kayla hadn't just expected the deposit. She expected the rest. Cancel it, I said. At 11:59 p.m., the email came through. Event canceled. Balance due, $0. I screenshotted it and sent it to Kayla. No caption. Then the call started. The texts poured in. You ruined my life. This is psychotic. I read them calmly. Because for years, Lily being ignored was fine, but touching their money was a crisis. Kayla finally texted, you're really not coming. I replied, no. I'm not your backup bank. The next morning, my phone wouldn't stop ringing. I didn't answer. I made Lily chocolate chip pancakes, the kind Hannah used to make. Lily asked softly, is Aunt Kayla mad? Yes, I said. Is it my fault? No, I said firmly. It's because I stopped paying for disrespect. Outside, the Texas sky was wide and bright. We went to the barn. Life stayed steady. Then my mom texted, how could you humiliate your sister like this? Not why did she exclude your daughter? Just shame. Then another, you're punishing everyone because you can't move on from Hannah. That text made my vision go hot. It was the lowest move in the family playbook, using my dead wife as a weapon when they were losing control. I put my phone away and kept working, hands shaking now not with doubt, but with rage. They would rather rewrite my grief than admit they'd been cruel to a child. Around noon, Kayla finally panicked. The venue won't let us in. It's canceled. Steven, please, I'll let her come. Okay, she can come. The offer was empty and late, like Lily was a bargaining chip. I didn't reply. Instead, I sent one sentence to Kayla, my mom, and my dad in a group text. I won't fund a family my daughter isn't part of. Then I blocked them for the day. The fallout came as expected: guilt, blame, outrage. 2 days later, my dad showed up at the ranch. "You cost your sister her wedding," he said. "She cost my daughter her dignity." I replied. He said it was just one event. I told him it was a pattern. He said we're family. I said exactly. When he asked if I really threw away $40,000, I told him the truth. The deposit was non-refundable, but I stopped paying the rest. And I stopped being used. He called me selfish. I listed everything I'd paid for over the years. He said my mother was crying. I said Lily cried too, and no one showed up for that. Then I told him I was done. No more money. No more help. Any relationship starts with respect for Lily. He left without another word. Kayla tried every angle. Angry, dramatic, fake sweet. Then she said, "Tell Lily I'm sorry she feels excluded, not sorry she was excluded." I didn't respond. That I quietly canceled every payment I'd been making. Autopays, transfers, loans. Changed my passwords. For the first time in years, my money stayed with me and Lily. A week later, the panic started. Voicemails. A text saying Mom's credit card was past due. Still nothing about Lily. Then Aunt Ruth called. She apologized. Said everyone had seen how Lily was treated. Before hanging up, she added, "Your parents have been using your granddad's land income like it's theirs." That's when it clicked. This wasn't just the wedding. It was a system built on me paying and staying quiet. Canceling the venue wasn't revenge. It was consequences. When family tells your child to wait in the car while strangers get champagne, they've shown you the hierarchy. You can't fund respect for your child. Boundaries only work when they cost something.